Here is another story that's been written by Savannah Hartley. This one is called Bruises That Don't Fit the Script. Julian kept his sleeves long, even in August. The heat felt like a heavy hand on his back, but that was still gentler than the real one waiting at home. When he finally gathered his courage and stepped into the police station, he felt like a balloon about to burst. His voice shook, but the story he carried was solid. It was truth, heavy as a stone. The officer listened with polite eyebrows, the kind that rise but don't actually believe. "Are you sure?" the officer asked. "Men don't usually, report this kind of thing." Julian felt the floor tilt under him, as if pain only counted when it arrived in the shape people expected. He wasn't alone. Across town, Marcus sat in his car outside the same station, staring at the steering wheel and trying to stitch together enough bravery to ask for help. His partner had thrown a plate at him the night before. It wasn't the plate that hurt most, it was the words afterward. "No one will believe you." The threat sat in his chest like a cold stone. And then there was Aaron, who had learnt to laugh off his bruises because the world laughed first. "She must be a firecracker," his friends joked. When he tried to speak the truth, the room grew awkward, as if he were rewriting the rules of who got to be a victim. In all three lives, the same thing happened. They reached out, and the hands that should have helped pulled back. The disbelief hurt almost as much as the violence. It made them feel invisible, like ghosts haunting their own homes. Shame wrapped around their throats. Their stories echoed in empty spaces because society had taped a label on the pain, and they didn't match the label. But truth doesn't disappear just because people dodge it. Julian found a local support group through a quiet online forum, a place where other men shared their stories without judgment. He learnt that numbers don't erase fear, but they sure do soften its edges. Marcus reached out to a national domestic violence helpline that didn't blink at his gender. They helped him make a safety plan that didn't rely on police alone. Aaron documented everything and eventually found an advocate who believed him first and asked questions second. They began to understand something vital. Disbelief is not a verdict. It's a failure in the system, not a flaw in them. What should men in their position do? They should keep seeking help, even if the first door slams. They should document everything: photos, dates, messages, injuries, threats. They should confide in at least one trusted person, even if that person is a voice on the other end of a helpline. They should connect with organisations that understand abuse doesn't care about gender. They should remember that walking away from violence is not weakness, it is courage in its rawest form. And they should know that their pain is real, even if someone else can't see it. Julian, Marcus, and Aaron didn't become heroes in a blaze of glory. They became something quieter and stronger. Survivors who refused to let disbelief write their story for them. And someday, when the world finally rewrites its script about who can be hurt and who deserves help, maybe their stories will be part of the reason why. Thank you for listening.